So I already cut some strips for myself. So this is what I'm going to be using today. So this is called plaster gauze, where the little bits of plaster are stuck to this. It's called like cheesecloth. It has little holes in it. And so what I'm going to have is several people that are done glazing. They're going to help cut this into this size strips. It comes in a really big roll, which you'll see in just a second, and then we'll be cutting it up. For our demonstration, I want to show you how it works. So the plaster is just a powder that's attached to the cheesecloth, and we have to activate it. So to activate it, we dip it in water, and I'm going to let it drip off a little bit, and then we just run our fingers, I don't know if you can see that, run our fingers over it a little bit to get, to kind of smooth the plaster out. And then we're going to put it onto these molds. So we want to make sure we have a nice clean mold. Then we just lay a piece on and smooth over it. And then you're going to continue that all the way around. Now, the benefit of doing it on these plastic heads on the mold is that you can choose if you want to go around the eyes and leave the eyes open, or if you want to cover over the eyes and your design can go over that. So each of our pieces that we put on, so we activate it, we wipe it down. This also helps it so it's not super drippy. And then I'm going to put it on and overlap the piece next to it and smooth them together. Now, because we're not doing this on our own faces, it's probably a good idea to not go all the way down to this rim, okay? Not to go to that edge, but to kind of imagine a line right along here, and you're just going to take your plaster down to that line. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to tip it up so you can see it.
Why are we doing our own?
And I'm going to attach.
What do you think?
I'm going to attach so it's overlapping and smooth it out. Now you're going to continue on this all the way around. We want to make sure our fingers aren't really wet and drippy when we reach into the pile, because if those pieces get wet, they'll be ruined for the next person. So I have a paper towel here to kind of dry my fingers as I need to. So again, dip to activate, wipe it off, and I'm going to go ahead and attach to a piece and smooth it over. And the more you can kind of smooth it and lay it down, especially because the plastic is really smooth, you'll want to kind of hold it. See how I hold it in place with another finger and then go over it? I'm going to go ahead and cover the eyes for this one. But if you wanted to, you could go right around the eyes.
Can you leave holes for the nostrils?
If you want to, these won't actually fit directly on your faces. Most of this is going to be decorative anyway. We're creating an art mask and not necessarily a wearable mask. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, cover up. And I'm just getting one layer on to start out.
Wear it when you're hunting.
And then after we go over everything, the more you can push it into those little cracks and crevices, the little edges, or the details of the face, the more you can press it onto those details, the more like a face it will look. Then you'll go over everything again, and we'll actually want to do a second layer. So again, we want each piece to kind of overlap. That'll help it be stronger, help it stick together. Again, I'm going to go ahead and you can go around kind of the nostrils. I'm going to go ahead and go over. Yeah, if I wanted to leave the nostrils open, I would do just probably cut a smaller piece to go right down here. Again, because you need 2 layers, you're going to need maybe 2 pieces to kind of go over that. And the more you can smooth it, the more you can get those holes filled in, the better. Now, I'm actually going to fold this one in half. Sometimes that can make yeah, it does the 2 layers, and sometimes that makes for a stronger edge, especially because that the edge of it is where it's going to get some wear and tear, and so that folded edge will kind of be nice along the side. I'm going to dry my hands a little bit. So we'll be able to add to it next time. That's a good question. So we want to try to get the face done, the face totally completed. It's best if you can get that done in one art time, which, like I said, we're not doing today. Today is just prep work. So I'm showing you the demonstration, and we're going to cut the gauze, but you'll be doing this next art time. Okay? But you can use the gauze to do some designing of the face as well. Yeah. And then we'll be able to paint it after it's all dry. But it'll take like at least overnight to dry because there's so much water in it. Once you've finished your, or at the end of our class time, hopefully you've gotten a nice edge all the way around. We can't pop the mask off until it is dry. So what we're going to do is I have some recycled scraps of paper. You're just going to put your name on there and your class, and then slide it. When you put it on the counter, slide it right under your plaster mask. And then when I pop this off, this one was done a little while ago, so when I pop it off of there, then I will take note of your name, and I'll go ahead and write it inside. All right, so make sure that you have your name with your mask, otherwise it will be really hard to tell the difference, to tell whose is whose.